Hi everyone, this is Dr. John with your Maintenance Minute. Now it's hard to believe we're actually talking about maintenance and reliability because so far we've talked about assessments and sort of a little bit of change management. Today we're going to talk about vision and mission and a maintenance philosophy, and I want to tell you a couple quick stories. I was doing a consulting job years ago in a factory, and before I went out into the factory to essentially assessing the maintenance organization, the plant manager pulled me and said, John, I've got two rules for consultants here. And I said, okay, what are they? He said, first, I don't want you to encourage anybody. And I said, what? And he goes, don't be talking about, vision and mission and world class. Just don't get people worked up. And I said, oh, okay. And then he said, and don't change anything. And I said, what? And he goes, well, don't suggest any changes. And I said, well, honestly, I think you meant to hire my competitor, because if you're talking to me, I'm all about exciting, energizing people, making change where it's necessary, for the advancement of maintenance and reliability where it makes sense. But he didn't want any change done. And it turns out the same guy, when I did my assessment and gave the outbrief, the same person said, we don't really need a vision in maintenance. And I thought, well, you probably don't, I guess. But years ago, I was in the military for 11 years. I got out of the military, and the very first civilian job I went to was a very famous company made cookware, and it was in Clinton, Illinois, a small town farming community. I got there and there was no organized maintenance. I came out of aircraft maintenance in the Air Force. There was no organized maintenance. There's no work order system. There's no computer, because we didn't have computers back then, but there was no paperwork order system, no storeroom, no planning, scheduling, no preventive predictive. I mean, literally nothing. It was technicians keeping the equipment running. They've been doing so, since the 1700s essentially. And I realized real quickly that John Ross I didn't know how to run a maintenance organization. Turns out I never ran one. Sergeant Anderson ran it, not Captain Ross. And also I didn't know how to start a maintenance organization because I never had to. The Air Force had one. They just told me not to screw theirs up. And so I didn't know what I was doing. So I got a flyer in the mail. Again, no computers, right? So I got a flyer in the mail. Hey, is this you? No planning, no scheduling, no PMs, no storeroom, and little frowny face at the bottom. I said, yeah, that's me, right? Call this number. So I called the number. The guy answered the phone and he said, I'll be right there. And he flew out and he looked around and said, man, you guys suck. And I said, yeah, I know we do. And he says, let me send a guy down. So we're in Illinois, right? He sends a contractor, a consultant down from Chicago, a guy named Jack Burgess. Now, Jack has no neck. You know those guys, right? Had like an ill-fitting suit from the 70s and permanent dandruff and eyebrows that he looked naturally surprised all the time with these eyebrows. Anyway, Jack was a mean-looking guy, and he had, again, an old suit and a big knotted tie, and he carried an old briefcase with him. And I told him, I said, Jack, you should have come in with a violin case, because back then, when a guy from Chicago showed up with a violin case, he meant business. And so Jack did an assessment. For about 3 days, he looked around my maintenance organization. He came back and said, John, you guys suck. And I said, I know we do, Jack. And he goes, but I found the problem. And I said, well, what is it? Let me know, because I'm ready to solve this problem. He said, the problem is you, John. I said, me? I'm the only guy that knows what world-class maintenance looks like. I came out of the Air Force. He said, that's the problem. Nobody knows what you're talking about. You're out here talking about predictive maintenance and computers and stuff, and nobody knows. These are farm guys. They don't know what you're talking about. You got to create a vision and a mission, and you got to do the groundwork, set the expectation, he says. He said, the first thing we're going to do is put a little team together, and we're going to come up with a maintenance philosophy. And you know what? That's exactly what we did. Got some mechanics, some electricians, and some folks from operations, put a little team together, and we came up with a philosophy. And this has been my philosophy ever since. And here's what it is. I believe that failures are a process. I think if we agree that most failures are a process, that means they happen for a reason. We can detect that somewhere along the way, and we can make a business decision, right? That's what we can decide to run to failure, or we can decide to do other things. I also think that maintenance and operations has to work in a partnership. And by the way, Tracy Strawn, I want to credit him with the Marshall Institute for this thought. We work in partnership. It's not a supplier customer relationship like lean manufacturing taught us. No, it's not that. It's a partnership, right? The other thing that I believe is true, and I could be wrong on this, but I think I'm absolutely right, and that is, until we're actually turning wrenches, until we're actually doing maintenance, our job is to provide the world's best technical advice. There's $1 million difference between I wouldn't do that if I was you, and I would not have done that if I was you, right? So Jack says, we're going to create a philosophy. And so we came up with something like that. This is what we're all about. And then Jack says, we're going to create a vision. And I'm thinking, a vision? That seems kind of silly. Let's just get after this maintenance. You got to have a vision, John. Where are you leading people? People will go if they understand where you're leading them to. If you're leading them to the slaughter, they're probably not going to go. But if you're leading them to the land of the promised land, milk and honey, they might move along again very quickly. And so a vision statement is meant to be, what's the right word? Invoke excitement. It's meant to, punch you in the gut. It's meant to wake you up, man. This is our vision. We're not going to be the world's best. We are the world's best. Now start acting like it. Not that, hey, we're going to work really hard and be in a rebuilding year. No, screw that. We are the best, whatever. We are the world class. It's declarative. A vision statement is 10 words or less, very short, very impactful. Don't give me a vision statement that runs on for paragraphs. Nobody remembers that. Nobody's excited about that. Give me 10 words or less that matter. Steve Gowan says, a good friend, colleague, Steve Gowan says, pick 10 words that matter. And they should all mean, you only got 10 words, so don't throw a lot of fluff in there. Let's hit them right in the solar plex and let's get after it. A vision statement declares, here's what we are. This is us right here. You're welcome to the team. This is our vision. Then Jack says we're going to create a mission statement. A mission statement can be a couple of paragraphs. It's a little bit more broad than a vision statement. It kind of goes hand in hand. The mission statement describes who we are. What's our purpose for even existing? Why do we have a maintenance organization? We have it for this reason. This is our mission. This is who we are, what we do, how we do it, and who we do it for. A mission statement should answer those 4 questions. Now, you could also include things about your morals and your ethics inside of a mission statement. You might value diversity and you follow the laws and regulations and you honor everybody's opinion. That goes in a mission statement as well. But I at least answer these 4 questions. Who are we? What do we do? How do we do it? And who do we do it for? And I'm going to suggest to you right now, if you don't have a philosophy, this is my philosophy on maintenance. I think maintenance is here to provide technical advice. By the way, the best technical advice. And when it comes time to turn wrenches, we bring the A game, right? We bring the A team. We're going to provide technical advice, take it or leave it. And when it comes time to do maintenance, here's the best maintenance. Breakdowns are a process. We can detect them if we're looking for it, and we can do something about it, which might include run to failure. And then we have to work in this partnership. So have a philosophy. If you don't have one, don't be that plant manager that said, we don't need any vision. We don't need any of that stuff. We just need to fix stuff when it breaks. Don't excite people and encourage them, right? That's the same guy. We're going to create a philosophy. We're going to create a vision. And that vision is going to, excite people. It's going to be declarative. Hey, look, my vision is this is the best maintenance organization in the company. Now let's start acting like it, right? That is my declarative statement. As a matter of fact, that might be an actual good vision right there. And then we're going to create a mission statement, which is a little bit longer. And it's going to say, here's who we are, here's what we do, here's how we do it, and here's who we do it for, the benefit of who we do it for. Guys, this has been your Maintenance Minute, and I look forward to talking to you next time.